So I think recording has started.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So good evening, all of you, and happy New Year. I hope you are good in your body, mind, and spirit. And today, uh, we have among us the speaker, and he is one of my good friend in Jawaharlal Nehru University, and he did his PhD from Center for the Law and Governance. Dr. Sarada Prasanna Raut. He is an assistant professor of Berhampur University, Department of Political Science. And the topic what today I asked him to speak on, that is critical engagement on the concept of disability. And the reason why I opted such a topic and why I requested him to talk on it, primarily because uh, that he is an organic intellectual in that sphere. I mean, he himself is a, disabled or differently abled person, and he has done his PhD on disability. That is the first reason why I opted this topic and opted this uh, particular speaker on this topic. And secondly, I also think that disability. Uh, okay. So I think disability. I personally think that uh, whether it is social or political, I mean, uh, I think it is not in our control whether if a person is becoming, able or disabled, right? Now, once a newborn baby is born in your family, and you find him or her as a disabled person. Now, what you should do? I mean, what mentality you should have, and what are the various social and political consequences of it, right? So there are also concepts like impairment, the disability, handicap, all these concepts are used synonymously, but it has difference from one another. So I hope that Dr. Raut will clarify on that point. And secondly, from the terminological point of view or from the definition point of view, we understand disability as kind of physical and mental impairment. And impairment basically means it is a long-term adverse effect to carry out, normal day-to-day activities. And why I, just uttered the definition of disability, because today, there is a kind of corruption how to get a disabled certificate, right? And from that, I think we have to recover the genuine disability, and I will say that pseudo disability. And Dr. Raut will, I think he will address that issue, right? And there is a spiritual and moral, component that is attached to the disability. And from the spiritual perspective of disability, it means it is a defect caused by the moral lapse or sin, right? वो जो कहते हैं ना वो श्रापित हुआ है, right? And in that perspective, it is the same to the person with disability, or it is the same to that family, right? So that is also another aspect of disability, or people understand disability from spiritual and moral perspective. Now I wish Dr. Raut will clarify us that to what extent it is legitimate to see from that spiritual and moral, I mean, to what extent it is legitimate to perceive disability from spiritual and moral perspective. There is another perspective that is called individual and medical perspective, and from that perspective, disability is a medical problem that resides in the individual, and it is a defect on a bodily system, right? And it is related with the person and or family, healthcare habits, and it is from individual and medical science perspective. Right. Now, there will be many more perspective on disability, how to understand. Since it is not my specialized area, I don't know much on it. But certainly, I have seen in central universities, in JNU, and in some other great universities, I find people from political science, they extensively work on disability, and it's a curiosity on part of me that can we see disability from a political angle, or it is a social issue, or how to address the disability, or in a sense that see disability is a part and parcel of our life. When we grow older, then also we find difficulty doing our normal day to day activities, right? So it is a kind of ongoing and continuous process. People are becoming from able to disable. uh, so in that sense, how we should handle uh, a person, a disabled person in our family, or how we should perceive a disabled person who is very much near to us, or how to, in other words, how to address disability socially and politically. uh, I think since Dr. Raut has done a PhD research on that topic, and he belongs to the discipline of political science, I hope he will provide us some nuances and some approaches, some perspective. As a political science student, what are how this disability concept of disability can be researched and can be further researched. So with this short introduction, I welcome Dr. Raut, and I wish he will justify the title of this web talk. So welcome you, Sardabu. Now the
Okay,
floor
okay,
is yours.
okay. So thank you so much, Heman Swabu, for giving me this opportunity. And I'm always happy to speak on this topic because it is not only for my area of interest, but also another thing I always believe when we promote this idea, like to sensitize the people across the academia, because why I believe to academia, because academia has that capacity, or that kind of tools to change the society minds. So and also I also wish you all the participant in the occasion of this new year, and all the other dignitaries who are present here. So yes. So I'm just starting with the idea how this discipline emerged and this history. Just before coming to any other new theory or anything, so at least we should know the past events, so that we will connect very well. And when you uh, when you go through the literatures, then you will come to know in the Greek history, in Roman history, or in other history, like in the ancient time, after birth, the baby, if they found he or she become a disabled, so very next movement they killed that child, because they didn't want to take burden, because that time the society was run through the the physical power, like they believe whosoever is part of this society, so they should contribute physically and with other capacity. But we know, like when a person having some bodily impairment, then there is a less chance to contribute like any other the abled body, like how Dr. Misra pointed out that disability and abled, and there are so many terminology. So means abled body. So then after we can see in the different time frame, the situation was similar. There is no change in the society. But after the Second World War, so sometime I supported to that Second World War. No doubt it is a that events is so devastating. We know billions of people they died in that war, but the changes we see as of today on this discipline. So that was started after the Second World War. So where the soldiers they injured, whosoever died, that is fine. But whosoever lived after that war and they wounded, so the government, the respective government, they were try to rehabilitate them into the society. So then they started the idea how to put into this society and especially in the European society I'm talking about, right? But if you come to the Indian context of this disability issues in general, so you can see how in Indian context, at least the society never killed to any disabled child if they found during the birth, but they left to the street for begging. So that was another aspect how they never accept any disability or any kind of a person in their society or in their family because they thought they are the burden for the family as well as for the society. So why a particular family or individual family they will uh, pay that entire burden. So it is a let's give to society so that society will bear that burden with us. So the begging, like how today also we are looking in the when you go to any temple, mosque or any church, so nearby you can see the begging, like how people have some sort of disability. They are mostly sitting there and begging. That means we can understand that approach like charity. So now after that Second World War incident, and we can see how the different government, like European society, they formed the law for the rehabilitations point of view, and they started the institutional mechanism to rehabilitate them into the mainstreaming society so that they can again contribute uh, their part to the society that later on that gradually moved to other society. So that entire movement, the disability movement, so moved to one place to other, like initially that started in Europe, then that moved to other so world, like in Indian context we can see in 70s the disability movement began with the college students. But in our context also we can see how the disability movement started, because in Dehradun there is a defense academy, and in the same way like how in the Second World incident, like in many Indian soldiers also they have lost their leg, their eyes and the different body part. So they started the rehabilitation center in Dehradun, and there they provided trainings, and later on they included the citizens or the different other community, means the general community, to take in the institutional framework that training. So they started schooling like blind school. We can see blind school is very old concept that was initially started in different churches in Europe and also in other part of the world. And in Indian context, the school also mostly started by the temples or churches, not the government initiation. That means we can see how the charity is very much involved for the matter of disability or and their life perspective. Then in 70s when some generations they have trained and got the modern educations, so they realized and also they brought that Western approach to raise their voice against the state and to bring the rights, the legal rights for their inclusion. But it is a questions. It is a big questions. We can say how much that inclusivity we can see in today's time. Still, we know there is a very less amount of inclusivity we can see as of now. But gradually we can move to in other in after 70s, then this entire movement become a popular, like we know in as a political science student in 70s across the world the social movement, the new social movement began, the racial movement, then women movement, all kind of social movement we can see in 70s. So the disability movement is also another movement at that time. And then after the United Nations conventions in the year 1981, they have declared 81 to 91. So that decades, the decade they signify and also give importance to the person with disability across the world, and the member state they also accepted the proposal and also they think how to include all the persons with disability in the mainstreaming society. Then we can see in Indian context in 1995 we saw the Person with Disability Act. Then in 2016, we can see then we brought another law for the rights of person with disability, because earlier that law was basically the rehabilitations, or maybe you can say is a point of welfareism, but there is no concept of right based approach. So so later on we can see in 2016 that right based approach. Now the law is completely based on the that all the rights, not only for the context of welfareism. But in the similar time, why I'm giving the comparative analysis, because you should understand everything is coming from the West. When you are talking about the disability and its related discourse, so all the models, all the ideas, all the concepts are coming from the Western world, and especially from UK and USA. And that the that in disability study, uh, there are there are several approaches, or you can call it theory, to understand disability as a discourse, as a discipline. So through the lens of those theory, you can get some sort of idea. But we can say this entire discourse, and when you say the disability, it is a social construct, because society only created this idea of disability, because society decided what you can do, what you cannot do. If you have one leg, then the society will decide within a one leg what you can do, and if you have two legs, then what you can do. That means it is a completely social construction. It is not the construction of any you can say like uh, means body point of view. And later on we can see how it become a body politics, how this disability discourse become a body politics. So your body decide, and the politics decide your body. Means they consider, when they consider and issue any sort of disability related certificate or anything, so it is it is the idea of body politics. Then Before talking about the all those theories, so just I will start with the initial model, like how this idea started in USA and UK. So it will help to understand the concept. So when in USA, this university student, they were started agitation against their respective government and demand for the independent living. So we know, when you talk about rights, liberty, equality, all this theory, that means it justify the individuals and it gives the full freedom to individual. But we know when you become a disabled or any other terms, the different government and different institutions, they framed the person to identify what type of disability or whatever. So they demanded the university student in US. They demanded in Berkeley the first center was started in 70s for the independent center for living. That means so initially the idea was to allow them without any support system. They don't want anyone who can observe or who can always involve and to judge or to means one kind of surveillance. That means we can understand. It's a matter of now we can say how today we are very much concerned about our privacy. So they demand that kind of privacy. Like you just allow us, you just give this infrastructure. So we required, for example, any person has some kind of problem in his or in her leg or knee, and they can't climb the stair. That means they required slope or any kind of ramp. So just they demanded to provide that kind of infrastructure so that we can able to manage. We don't need any person who can always with us or to sit beside me and do all these things. So it's better whatever the infrastructure or whatever technology you required, just to provide so that we can manage by our own. So that demand actually, yes, the USA authority accepted and also they made on that kind of structure. So that was the one beginning, just it is a beginning. And that idea went to UK. And then the professor uh, uh, Mike Oliver, Mike Oliver, he's actually initially he was a normal person, but due to one accident, he lost his two legs. Okay, and he just started with that career with that situations. So when he entered to the university gate with his wheelchair, so he realized there is a stair. How come I entered to my class? How come I climbed to the first floor? So then after he started the critical analysis of the entire the barriers surrounding the disabled persons. That means we know in disability there is no homogenizations. You cannot put uh, a particular law in a one way so that everybody can put into that. No, it's totally different because somebody has the issue in ear or they are facing problem to hearing, or somebody has problem in speech, somebody has problem in seeing, somebody problem is leg, so somebody problem is mind. So you can understand if government bring a particular law or policy for everyone, then it's a totally injustice. So obviously, so it is just an idea like how the barriers. So it's just raising the issue of barriers. So maybe it is infrastructure barrier. So he just highlighted. So everywhere we require the participations. So obviously, like how just you imagine how this discipline gradually emerged into the social science, and they just make the message to the society. We are not different. We are same how you are. So that you just give this infrastructure, or we just give that kind of you know the technology, so that we will also take equal chance, or we just need the equal chance. So this is called later on this theory called social model. So the founder, or you can say this social model, Oliver developed, and later on we can see in the entirely the disability discourse, this social model become a very popular, and also still we are debating on that way, in that line, with our government or with any other related issue where any infrastructure development is going on. So there we are basically uh, highlighting this social model. But we know like how Dr. Misra pointed that the model of medical model. So in the medical model, basically what happened, like how he explained, like a doctor only identify your problem in your body. So that is the only medical model. Like medical uh, doctors, they identify you have vision problem, you have ear problem, you have speech problem, but they don't have any solution. How to manage, or how the person can get into the mainstreaming society? They don't have that kind of any mechanism so far till now. I will tell you my own experience. When I joined this university, and we know that like how the government has the criteria, the medical criteria. So I just got on the category of blindness. So they allow me to attend the this district medical board. Then when I went to the district medical authority like CDMO, so he asked me a very stupid questions, like, you are blind, how come you are teaching? How will teach? So how can I give the my consent to this form? I said, just you read the document carefully. It is just asking whether I have problem in my vision or not. Not like the government is asking you whether I'm able to teach or not. So it is not your business. That means just you can understand like how he's a ophthalmologist, he's a eye doctor, but he doesn't know a blind person can do what or cannot do what. So that means it's just a social construct, right? How society construct a particular issue in their framework, like how society decided who will do what, who will do not what. So this is very much visible. We can see everywhere in our society, in our day-to-day life, how people they understood the person with disability in general, and also particular to in some sort of disability. Maybe they may be accept to the person with blindness, but they may be not accept to the person with the mentally challenged, or maybe any other disability. Means it is again depends upon the social perception, or the like the visibility. So I always believe the advocate in different forums also, like we should take initiation, like how one scholar, the American scholar Laird Barton, he gave a one kind of term or slogan, you can say, nothing us without us. Means for your fight, you are the person who can change the social perception or the social that mindset. Nobody can change. Maybe if anybody can try to change your things for if they join for your movement, but that will not get that kind of importance, or maybe somewhere that can be diluted. But you can change, because you know you are living with that situation, you are living with that problem, so you are knowing better than anyone else. So nobody can change without my involvement, without my interventions. So maybe an outsider can imagine my situation, or maybe we know like how if somebody fell down and heavily hit with some by some
hard substances, but we can understand, we can maybe feel that pain. Oh, maybe he got so much uh, um, pain inside his body, but that exact pain, what he or she is realizing, nobody can imagine. So, like, the idea of this, the social perception and the personal involvement. So, the person with disability can only change the social perception if they get chance into the mainstreaming society. So, the entire debate today is going on in the academia, the inclusiveness or the inclusion. So how in the other areas, like we can see in social construct, how I just say it is a total social construct, and also we can see in other issues in the matter of our society, like sometime we can see in the caste, in the caste basis we can see our society is also divided. Also gender problem is there, like other so many problem, like we can see. So similarly, disability is also taking into considerations, like how today government is giving importance to a particular caste issues, or maybe to give the provisions, or for gender justice, or for the gender inclusiveness, how government is coming with the new ideas and giving so much thought on that. So similarly, we require the attention, but we know how in the other communities, or how in the other sections, they started their advocacy by their own people or community. So we also required our voices from our community, so that we can change the social perception or the mind set of the society, so that this social construct will be different in the coming future. But it's not easy to change the social perception by a decade or century. We know this idea is not a one day concept. This thought process is very rudimentary, or you can say it is a complete. We can see the people. It is a deeply involved with our mind, but and also, like how we can see the discriminations or the other kind of body politics, like the theory I just mentioned in the beginning. There you can see when the body politics, you will say, you talk about the body politics. There you can say how the entire body, like how decide what, like how I pointed out, like how means the society or the government. In fact, we know for every job there is a criteria, right? So that means we can see how your body is playing a politics, and how because of your body, how you are facing the challenges, and that challenge is only made by the politics. So this is the idea. So we also need the intervention in the politics. So through politics only we can change this social perception, and also the body politics. Because when you enter into the society, or when you enter into the legal discourse, when you enter into the administration, when you enter into the academia, then you can change the people mind, what you can do and what you cannot do. So they can also know, because how, just I say, when Oliver enter into their university, so very suddenly he realized how he will enter to that building, because there is a stair. But before that, he could not realize. When he was a normal person, he even not thought of that challenges. But when he lost his two legs, so he realized. So that means uh, you should include the community into every section of the society, or in the in every institution, so that the politics will also take its change. Then uh, also we can say the charity model is also very much popular to understand disability discourse, because since from the beginning, I just how told you, in the Roman society and Greece, in the other world, they killed. But when after the Enlightenment and the other reform movement happened in the Europe, so then after they have started the rehabilitations in different part of the uh, Europe, and then after you can see how church uh, involved in the matter of rehabilitations, and also they consider the charity. Charity is one of the important aspect of the their religion connotations. But maybe uh, we may consider some in a, maybe in the beginning point of view, maybe you can understand, yes, nobody is taking responsibility, so that church is taking the responsibility, and church looking in the perspective of their religion point of view. But that become a tendency of the society. Now also we can see how people believe, if they give any uh, kind of charity, or if you give any money to any beggar, or especially for any disabled beggar, then you feel you have done something very good today, so God will bless you, right? That means that charity mind, or that charity approach, how that prevailed, the person prevailed over the person with disability and their life perspective. Because uh, because of this charity model, nobody is interested to allow them into the inclusive agenda, because they thought just to give food, kapda, and just whatever they require and they need as a human being, like how we just treat to any animal, how you just feed to a dog, your pet dog. So they thought like that. The society thinking on that line, like just you give cloth, that's it. Why? When so you are thinking of going to any office and do job? Yeah, we'll give you food and everything, whatever you require. So you don't need to go anywhere. That means they completely ignore. Means they thought, we are there, we are with you, so don't worry, we will not ignore, just that means we know every individual there has some sort of quality, and their inner quality, but we always ignore, because and especially in the context of disability context, so that uh, so this charity approach is very much uh, diminishing the person with disability life perspective, and their that respect, or the dignity, or self-esteem, whatever you can call it. Okay, so that is very much visible in our day-to-day society life. Then, uh, if you take the uh, perspective of this discourse into gender context, then again it is very difficult and it's very painful. Like we know, this society in general towards women, there is so much restriction. But if that person, of the particular woman, has some sort of disability, then she has multiple challenges. Means you can say double D or triple D disabled. Means uh, the society, and especially their family members, they never allow to that woman or that girl to go outside their house or their society, because somewhere or some places they consider if that girl will go outside, then there is a chance of losing their social prestige in their community. In fact, we can see if you go to any other village, definitely we'll find some of the other houses, you will get some sort of disabled related issues or women with disability in their village. But we never ever get interaction with that women because they thought if the people if anybody will know they have a girl child having the disability, then with that family, means nobody can come to their family for any other marriage perspective. So they link to the marriage, and with that, that means we can understand how it is a very complex issue and it's very difficult to uh, analyze within a one uh, particular theory. So you required multiple theory to understand and to interrogate or to investigate and to solve the issue. Then and also we can say like just media. Yeah, media is playing very crucial role. We know how media is shaping society uh, today's especially, and we know in very often in the different popular media like Hindi, Bollywood cinema, or in our Hollywood or Tollywood or whatever media or the popular media, you just see how they project the person with disability. Mostly, they project the person with disability in a funny manner or put into the like how like a beggar only, like how just I said like how a person put in somewhere and he's begging, or maybe uh, means the negative character, or they portray just they are helpless, they require the support of someone. They never ever shown a, a blind person is a scientist or is a professor or is an engineer or working somewhere in the in a big position, so that it gives the and it gives the one kind of idea, and that will bring the social that will give you the thought to the society to change the mindset. But here we can see the negative character, and that constantly prevailed in our day-to-day life.
I'm sorry, actually, I'm back.
Huh.
Please continue.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So the media, then we can see like yes, just I just giving some important points here because it's very difficult to tell you entire discourse because it's a very broad concept. Just I'm only telling here some of the important aspect of disability so that it gives you the idea to understand this discipline and how day-to-day life we all are facing or also uh, 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 part of the our day-to-day affairs. So this after the social media, sorry, the popular media, then we can see how the universal design concept of universal design, because why I'm saying I'm giving this idea that universal design because uh, in the beginning I told you the social model is very much important and gives you the understanding how in our day to day life how you are facing and made construction, or it is not natural, right? The stair, when you built a stair in front of the building or gate, so it is not created by nature, right? Just we only created for our purpose, but we forgot, we never thought of other our members who is with us and who is also our part and parcel of our day-to-day um, affairs. Only we think in general, but the universal design, we can see now the government is coming with the idea of the universal design, where the Swavlambha Bharat, and there are so many agenda. Government is coming with the Swavlambha Bharat, so they try to the making access to all the government infrastructure. But so far, the result is very poor. We can, if you go to any kind of government institutions or a government building, so still you will not find that kind of inclusivity. But maybe in the coming future, so we can see in the coming future. But at least the idea the government started, okay, putting into the society to think over the inclusivity and the matter of accessibility, so that in the coming future maybe we can see that kind of accessibility and that kind of participation among the disabled community. So the universal design is another very important concept, and through that we can see now through all the technology. Basically, if you say the internet, and we know how internet or the technology give you that that liberty and that kind of freedom today in the age of technology. So now also we can see how the person with disability, they are much capable only because of the technology. But when that same technology has not modified on the idea of their uses, then there is no use. So the universal design is highly essential, because uh, like how just you develop a particular things, but only for not if you design only for a specific purpose or maybe for a particular community, that doesn't solve the whole idea of the social inclusiveness. That means you should design something, or if you are making, if you are an engineer, if you are a technocrat, then your mind should be like uh, to make whatever product or technology, to consider everyone to take part, so that it is really create that inclusive in our society. So now we can see like all the technical companies, or even in Microsoft, Google, all the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the major social media, they brought that idea of universal accessibility for person with disability. Even maybe you most of you know autism. So in autistic person, they have the different challenges. We know like their thought process is a little bit slow, and also they have multiple disability. So you can understand, if you have some pain in your leg or your back, then how much uh, tension you are getting that day. But a person who is getting pain since from the birth, and he or she doesn't know how he means when he will relieve from that pain, but still he or she has that aspirations to live like any other individuals. And you can see also they are taking part in the in our social development, and also they are taking in the different aspect of the society. Then we can make the society in that way so that everybody will take part. So this universal design is also thinking of that idea, whatever infrastructure or whatever technology or whatever the modern development is taking place, so you design on the basis of the person with disability requirement, so that uh, it will create that kind of environment, so it break that social barriers, because uh, the society only create that barriers through making huge infrastructure and without understanding anything. So just you make big stair, but if you only face any problem in your knee, you yourself you can't uh, climb that your own doorstairs, right? So you think over that. It is not only you are making for specific to person with disability. It just you create such environment so that everybody will take part. So that is the universal design, the concept of universal design. Uh, and uh, uh, attitude. It is also another important concept to understand the idea of this disability, the attitude, the people attitude towards person with disability. So we know it is very bad. Maybe I felt most of the occasions how people behaved particularly. Uh, 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 I have so many personal experience, but yes, I'm giving you the general idea here. They never accept. They always questioning, or they think he maybe he or she doesn't have that capacity. But I don't know, because of the such um, uh, reservations, they are getting this or getting that. And yes, government is giving so much um, facility, this facility, that facility. That means that attitude, and that charity also, it is a part of that attitude. And also that uh, the family members, how they are looking at you, that is also that idea of attitude. So we should also require the change of attitude of the people. If you bring the person with disability in the mainstreaming society, or when you talk about the inclusiveness or that agenda of um, that inclusiveness, then we have to we have to change uh, this attitude approach, and we should change the people attitude. And then environment, we know how environment like it is also part of that same that social model. So it just bring the environment uh, for like how just I mentioned in the universal design concept of universal design, and in the concept of social model. So that is the environment. So all such concepts help you to understand or to analyze this discipline. And there are so many debates is there, but I think maybe through discussion, maybe I will further highlight the concept. So I think maybe I concluded here, and maybe we will go for the discussions.
So thank you, Dr. Raut. I found that you, in the latter part of your talk, you become slightly emotional. I mean, we cannot be away from our emotion. And if I will say that I am objectively true, then I am lying actually. So in that sense, I think it is something which we must accept it. But then you are also, I use the term organic intellectual. I mean, I'm not a physical handicap or I'm not a disabled person. So if I speak on disability, then I may not, understand it at the effective and evaluative, evaluative zone. But for you, you are experiencing it from at cognitive level, at effective level, and at evaluative level. But in your talk, I found something that you challenged the spiritual and moral aspect of the disability, and you challenged the individual and medical perspective on disability. And you said that disability is social. So it is not individual or it is not spiritual. And you said that through politics we can bring changes. Uh, we can bring uh, you know we can bring change, social perspective on disability. We can bring change on social perspective on disability. But my question is that what kind of politics you are talking about? That's my first question. And the second question is what I do have, that I am confused about the success and failure of disability movement. And for you, I think how you think about the success of disability movement and what is the failure of this disability movement. And the third question is that how to develop concern for disability among abled person. Right. So these are my three questions. So I want you to address it first, three questions,
Yeah.
and then I will my students may ask you questions.
Sure, sure, sure. So thank you for such a nice question, because yeah, you have raised very, very important questions. Definitely, I will try my best to answer all the three questions. So yes, the first idea means I'm questioning on the religion aspect of disability, and also you said, can you repeat that? Religion, and another is
Okay.
when you said
See,
religion,
that
another, and
there is a spiritual and moral
uh-huh.
perspective on disability.
Yes,
There is a
yes, yes,
individual and medical perspective on disability.
yeah,
But
yeah,
for you, disability is social, and you emphasize
huh.
on that social aspect. And why
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
ignored the rest too?
Yeah, yeah, I got it. Yeah, the first point I got it. Yeah, see, religion means why I criticize this religion model, because religion model, actually I forgot to mention at that point, like religion model basically talking about the karma theory of karma. Okay, so in all the religions, if you uh, try to make such understanding particular to the disability, they said it is just because of the, it is just a past karma. So we know in the today's context, due to the medical science, if you have any issues, so maybe because of nutritional or maybe for any sort of diseases, we are facing the problems. So we don't know what we did in the past or in the past life. And also some religion, they don't accept this prepositions of life after life. Okay, so I don't want to go to that debate, but yes, so at least we know if I have any problem in my leg or in my hand, so obviously we are going to doctor. We are not consider, no, no, maybe my leg is injured, so maybe it is happened because of my past karma, so at least I should accept that, right? Obviously we are not doing that. We are always going to medical and taking the science for our treatment. But if we reject it on the ground of the spirituality, yes, that person is having such and such issues because he did something wrong in the past. And if so, this is the idea. So why I rejected or why I questioning. So maybe you may agree or you may not be agree with this my argument, but yes, the later on that medical discussion and that I why I criticize, because they only diagnosis but not give any solution. ठीक है, I know I have vision problem, but after that also I have my life perspective. I can do so many things, but they're not giving any solution. Only they are saying you can't see this. So it doesn't mean if I can't see means I can't fly an aeroplane. I can, but I require the technology. I require the sophisticated training. We can see, like how I think I'm forgetting that person name who is a first Everest climber. He's a blind, totally blind. Okay, that means we know only we thought only a normal person or able body or able person can only climb the Everest mountain. No, we also required sophisticated training and we required that kind of ability through specific practice so that person, a particular, he or she can do that. But medical doctors or medical professionals, they never ever said any solutions. Only they just tell you you have this problem, you have that problem. But there is a solution also, but they don't know that solution. So that is my questions, like how also today the medical model, like we can see how the doctors, when I went to that my case I mentioned here, how the CDMO, he's a senior most doctor, okay? He's not like any layman or he not know anything. He know so many things, but his understanding only he thought, yes, you can't see means you can't do. That doesn't mean like how today I just you just see. I did my PhD and I still today I'm teaching to my student and I read and I do all my work, academic work. But a normal person, they initially maybe they can't imagine if there is a if there is a power cut. So it is all of a sudden you maybe feel what I will do now. But after a certain point of time, you also realize how to manage the situations, and also you think to accommodate yourself with the environment, and also after some period of time you are also equally capable to do the same work when you see when there is a light and after light after power cut. So this is my argument, but yeah. So but your second question I think.
So second question is that how to develop concern for disability among abled person.
Yeah, means every person means like see like it's very simple. I think just try to understand like how we just treat when we are saying we always believe we all are human beings, so we always feel other persons should also respect in similar way. So we just we should help them, but not on the idea of charity or any like feel like that like how I just pointed out that time, like when you give something or some kind of donation to a particular beggar or particular disabled beggar, then you feel so proud. So I think people should not do like that. They should not encourage this idea. They should encourage to the people. Just you give your support, like you just convince them you can do. You just encourage them. There is a provision, there is a training center, there is a this and that. So you just go and just take the opportunity. Why you are begging here? This is not your job. This is not your life, right? But we know, like we never ever interact or intervene with anyone. Maybe maybe somebody can say, how come you intervene with some other person's life? But yes, we can make some kind of awareness. And also, I know throughout my academic journey, my fellow mates, they were always helpful when I required anything, but they never, maybe sometimes some fellow mates, due to their lack of that understanding, they thought they're saying also some that like uh, they're just saying how much pain, how much suffering you are facing, the suffering and difficulties. But I never felt any suffering, any difficulty. See, I enjoy my life. I know this is also different way of life, like how we all are living in different style. Like if you make some understanding, like if you go to just in the plain road, then you are just simply walking, right? But when you climb the Everest, or so you not Everest, if you climb the any mountain, then you can see you are not walking how you are walking in the road, just you crawling. So definitely you have the different strategy, okay, in a different perspective. So obviously it is also another way of life to lead. So disability is just a different lifestyle. It is just a different way of managing the our day-to-day affairs. Nothing else. My point of view. Maybe some of you agree or disagree. I don't know, but yes.
I think it's fine actually. The last question from my side is that you said through politics we can change social perspective on disability. I mean,
Yes,
are
yes,
you happy
yes.
with present politics, or you have any model of politics within you?
No, not present politics, because the present politics is a completely, again, I will tell you, it is also the based on that same charity or welfareistic model. They are not till considering the right based approach is the highly essential and highly required to change this social mindset. Only they are thinking to give this and that, like for example, they how you see for disabled pensions they are giving, and the disabled that rice scheme, there is a kambal scheme, there is a chappal scheme. So it's totally disturb the person's the life perspective. Means I I'm just telling you my personal experience when I went for my field work in Koraput and other part of Ganjam. So there I found people are only interested or they convinced by the government or maybe by the society. They're happy. They're getting 10 kilo rice. They're getting 1,000 at that time. I think that was 500 or 700. I don't know. Yes, and some other benefits. That means we can understand how the politics, the populist politics, that damage the entire person's life perspective. That means we require the that humanistic approach for person with disability, not the charity approach or not any welfareistic approach. Maybe for old person or maybe that is also not fine for my point of view. I think you should give opportunity to grab that opportunity, and through that you may give some sort of um, the support. But simply giving rice pension, that not solve the real issue, I think.
So I think, I don't have any other questions. Now the floor is open for the discussion. My students can ask questions. Gitanjali Patra, she is one of my student, my friend actually, Gitanjali. She has a question, then Priti has asked the question. But before that, Dr. Smriti Ranjan Dhara, right, Smriti Bhai from Central
Yeah,
University of
yeah.
Pune, he has joined.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Bhaira
he
namaskar,
he
Bhaira
can
namaskar.
नमस्कार नमस्कार ରାମକୃଷ୍ଣ ଭାଇ ବହୁତ ଦିନ ପରେ ଦେଖା
ନାଇଁ
ଆଉ
ମୁଁ
Sarada.
ଶାରଦା ଭାଇନା, ମୁଁ ଶାରଦା।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ସରି ଶାରଦା ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି
ହଁ ହଁ
ବାଇ ମିଷ୍ଟେକ୍ ହଠାତ୍ କେମିତି କଣ ମୁଁ ବାଇ ମିଷ୍ଟେକ୍ ଓକେ ସରି ଶାରଦା ବହୁତ ଦିନ
ହଁ
ପରେ ଦେଖା
ହଁ
ଆଉ
ହଁ ହଁ ହଁ
ମୁଁ
ଭାଇନା ଭାଇନା।
ମୁଁ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ ଫସି ଯାଇଥିଲି ତେଣୁ ବହୁତ ଡେରିରେ ଜଏନ କଲି ମୁଁ ତେଣୁ ତମର ସେସନରେ ନଥିଲି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆନ୍ସର ରାଉଣ୍ଡରେ ହିଁ ଶୁଣିଲି but
Good
ବହୁତ
ଭାଇନା।
ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲା so I am
Yeah,
expecting good questions
Gitanjali.
from the students.
Okay then. So Gitanjali has asked a question, but I want her to ask you directly. Gitanjali, you can ask the question directly to our speaker.
Thank you. Actually, I have a question to Sarada sir that in 2020, WHO has joined as a partner to celebrate the International Day of Persons with a Disability, a day for all. Do you think it will be fruitful for the disabled person in future reference?
Yeah, absolutely. Because see, we require the awareness, the level of awareness across the society, not only for only USA or UK or whatever. So just like how I mentioned in my lecture in 1981, that decade dedicated for person with disability. So then after we can see how the major disability discourse or the legal discourse came into exist across the world, like in USA in 1990, American Disability Act, then UK you can see that same kind of law, then Australia, then India in 1995. That means it is a very good move, I can say, because through uh, awareness camp, uh, at least in the academia, uh, we can feel that change, right? At least we can understand. Yes, people can accept. And when you become a teacher or you become an administrator, so if you really understood the concept, then obviously you will help the person with disability, and you never make that kind of that stereotype mindset for person with disability. At least you know how they can do and contribute, and what they can help to the society, and they can also take equal part like any other person in the society, right? So this
Okay.
is the good move, I can say.
Thank you, sir.
Priti, okay. Thank you, Gitanjali. Priti has asked a question, but
Yeah.
Priti, you can directly ask this question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you ask.
Sir, my question is that in today's world, sir, how religion is seen in a society, in a modern society, and is it really has a tendency of opium, or is it a path of spirituality? Is religion is becoming a middle path theory in today's world? Sir, my question is that is religion is making a person a disability or not?
Yeah, like see, your question is connected to like in general perspective as well as in the concept of like that m- yeah Marx, that concept of religion become a opium of masses. So yes, I just mentioned how the person with disability, the all the religions, they consider it is a theory of karma. That means, see, when you define somebody on the basis of religion connotations, then it is very tough, because we all are closely connected with religions, and it is very emotional things. We know all how we are very much emotional with religions. But if religion promoted such concept and such thoughts, so he is a person maybe done something wrong in his past life. Means you will also looking on that ground to that fellow, right? That means there is a chance, maybe you will never feel happy with that persons. Or maybe if you are good friend with that fellow, but you never consider he's your best friend, because if you are a very religious person, then maybe you always think, yes, on the charity perspective. Never believe to give the scope, like how anyone can require like the modern educations or require the technology for empowerment or the infrastructure for getting that to access all the other required facility. You will never consider. Always you think, yes, charity, yes, yes. If I give, then maybe my next life will be very good because I'm helping to this person, these disabled persons. So that is mentioned in the religion text. Religion text saying, if you help to poor, disabled, orphan, so it will help you and you will get the heaven. We don't know where is the heaven, but yeah, but yes, that says.
Okay, Silpa, you directly ask this question.
Sir, namaskar.
Yes, yes.
Sir. Sir, my question is, how do we raise awareness for disability? In which ways?
Yeah, like there are so many ways to raise the for awareness point of view. Like today it's very easy. Like we have social media in our fingertip, so we can utilize the social media to make some sort of thought, like how some people they have developed their blogs, and also they are making some kind of video, and like how like Dr. Misra, how he conducted such a program. So in that way also it helps to the society to make understanding over the issue. So in different level, like how today you can see the inclusive education, that concept also government introduced in different primary level, school level, and college level. That means to increase the awareness level, means when you meet anyone, is your classmate or is your fellow employee, or if you travel in the bus, if you meet someone, then you just try to understand what he or she is thinking towards society, or just when you interact, then you just interact with like a normal person. Don't be so sympathetic. Just empathetic towards the person with disability. They know uh, their issues, and they know how to deal with that situation. Just they require like your support. But uh, when you extend your support, then obviously uh, uh, through that it gives the message to the other individuals or whosoever is sitting near to you. They will also realize, yes, I can also help someone if I get chance. So that is one. And also, yeah, like I think we should first, like how like I don't exactly remember who gave this thought, like an you always consider, I think Gandhiji or something, like you always consider your position into that place, then you just do whatever you.
It's Gandhi. It's
Yeah.
Gandhi.
Gandhi, yes. So that means you will never do any, you never will do any kind of wrong thing, right? So obviously you always feel uh, good only to
So
anyone,
Dorothy,
if you help anyone.
okay, Dorothy, she is a student from Nigeria in our department. Africa.
Yeah,
Dorothy,
yeah.
you may directly ask question to the speaker. Dorothy, are you there? Or maybe she is facing some problem. Okay, let me read your question.
Okay.
She is asking, how can we move from a welfareist approach to humanistic approach?
Yeah, it's very good question, and also it is possible, like how I just said, political intervention. Right now, also we can see that political intervention is there. So because of that only, we seeing that welfareistic approach or model, or we can call it charity model. But yes, when you say charity to humanistic, like how like any other individual in our society, they are living, like they are getting opportunity. So we just promote or send our representative to parliament, to assembly, to local bodies, so that they will take our issue into the forefront. And they will also bring that opportunity for us so that we can get that in our humanistic context. So it is a so that I mentioned political intervention is highly essential and highly required. But so far we can see we don't have any our representation. It's a very bad luck and unfortunate. Not only in India, anywhere, right? There is no voice. So humanistic approach, like only some NGOs or some civil society organizations, they are working in behalf of the person with disability. But also we can see there is also politics, like how some NGOs, they are running their institutions for profit making. So like they are putting in front of their agenda, they're just showcasing a person with disability, but the behind scene, we can see how many organizations now they are blacklisted and also they're under scanner because of their such behavior. That means that is the way like how civil society should come to front and help to the community, so that yes, that humanistic approach will be prevailed.
So another question is asked by Sanjay. He's working with me for his MPhil degree, and he's working on populist politics. So I want Sanjay to directly ask this question. Sanjay, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is that are policies and program of Modi government really useful for disabled people, or it's only a populist agenda?
Very good questions. Yeah, not only Modi, every government, they are just making some sort of agenda or like populist agenda. Yeah, like Congress government, I can say Congress government actually brought many changes in the disability sector. But yes, it is unfortunate like this current government, many good policies or fundings, they are restricted to our sector. But for that, not for that matter, I just criticize to this. This particular government changed the terminology. Disability now become a Divyang. I cannot understand how you are making such joke. Like one person is facing so many challenges and society criticizing, or maybe not directly, but we know the social setup. But when you say Divyang means divinely body, how it is just you are joking with someone. Okay, if somebody says to someone, you are looking like something or some like that, but that means just ignoring your problem. Okay, like how politicians they are using their tactics. So I'm never accept. See, identity is very important. If you lose your identity, means you lose the politics. You just deny to get the political chance. So we should stick with the identity, so that definitely we can fight. We can fight, right? So yeah, yes, I think Modi government is not achieve that kind of points what other governments are true.
So thank you. I mean, it was a very disturbing questions actually, and I'm thankful to our speaker that he straightforwardly handled it. So another question is asked by Santoshi Parida, and I am adding to her question that is disability only a social construct? Is disability only a social construct?
Yeah, yeah. Already I uh, mentioned in my lecture. Yes, uh, social construct means see, uh, person with disability having so many issues, challenges. So who is creating that challenges? That is the questions, right? Only society. Like when you enter into the building, there is a staircase. You have problem in your limb and your leg. So who is created that? The society. And like how always making the society uh, for person with disability the idea. Uh, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, okay? And they decided everything as for the social norms. That means you don't have any choice, right? You don't you never consider as a human being. So at least we should get that chance, no, to so that we can change or we can whatever perspective we are looking for our future. So we can at least try, but there is no chance of try. So it is very tough. So that's why the social perception is very much essential. And how I just said in the populist media, like in the different our populist pictures, serials, and all the media, sorry, in the pictures, how they portray, right? How they portray the different characters, comic characters, then helpless character specific to person with disability. So obviously, it is a social responsibility. Definitely, they should project a person with disability. He is driving a car, or he or she is flying a aeroplane. So they can also project that. No? But why they are only saying one person is sitting near the mosque, church, temple for begging? That means we can understand, right? Means you are thinking the person with disability only they have the choice of begging, nothing else.
So thank you. I think before I come to Gitanjali for the vote of thanks, I want our Smriti Bhai to give his observation. And I am asking because in the last class he was the resource person. So I hope that he will speak something new. And I request him to speak in English because some of my students, especially those who are non-Indian, they don't understand
Okay.
India.
Yeah. Actually, that I just I mean, because after I think after a decade we are meeting, Sarda.
Yes, yes.
So
Yes, Vaina. Yes, yes.
we used to have food in the Brahmaputra hostel mess
Yes,
together
yes, yes.
in
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yes,
actually
yes, yes.
it is such a pleasure to, because when Himanshu sent the link, there was no name of the speaker, so I didn't know that I would just discover Sarda speaking, and it was such a pleasure. See,
Yeah.
I am incapacitated to give my observation, mainly because I was not here in this session, but in the question answer round, I think most of the questions and the answers so what I could gather from the questions and the answers, and the way Sarda handled the questions, even some of the critical questions, where a speaker would even try to evade the question. So I think Sarda took all the questions and handled them in a in such a I think in such an easy manner. So I could guess topic, I mean the lecture, and the so the discourse of ability or disability.
Disability.
And I think the way you handled Sarda, I mean, because I didn't hear the main part, I mean, it is unethical on my part to actually comment on that. But I'm so happy, the way you handled all the questions.
So thank you, Dr. Dhara. I mean, I know that you may not give your observation, but since then, you are among us, and I will not say you. I mean, it will be unfair to three of us actually. Right. So now I am requesting my friend Gitanjali. She is teaching in KISS, Kalinga Institute of Social Science. She is from Political Science Department. I request her to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Himanshu, for giving me an opportunity to say vote of thanks. Actually, on behalf of the Department of Political Science, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our speaker, Dr. Sarada Prasanna Raut, who spared time from his busiest schedule to grace this webinar. Today, the topic, the critical engagement with the concept of disability, which was elaborately he discussed so many things, so many models like social model, religion model, medical model, charity model, and also the universal design, which is giving emphasis on the universal design, and also the social model, which is also very much crucial for change the mindset of the peoples, the general peoples. So he was given so much examples like Mike Oliver, who has developed that social model, which is also the popular. And he was also highlighting by the Mike Oliver that how social model is giving emphasis on the disability person. So and also the baton, he also gave an example of a baton, nothing without us. It is very very inspiring to us, all of us, and we have know very new things about the disability problems. Such the charity model is not the fruitful to the disability person. We should I think it is to empower the disability person. We should not give charity to the disability person for the sake of showing to the society or to the others, but it should be the as a humanistic perspective. We should do something by our core of hearts. It should not be showing for the giving taking pictures or upload in social media, but it in a positive way we can use the social media to change the mindset of the persons. I can also say that double D or triple D of women. He also very critically given the examples of women, how they are challenging in for their life in social platform. So in also it is a in post COVID-19 it is a very difficult nowadays. Also they are very vulnerable in today's world, we can say. They are very vulnerable, and I can say it is I may conclude with this quote: there is no greater disability in society than the inability to see a person as more. So I can use the term inability to see a person as more. So that is more important. That is the mindset of the people to think about the disabled person as a normal people, not as a disabled person. So thank you so much, sir, giving me such a wonderful discussion. We can say it is a discussion or that you have given so much time to to say something about the how the engagement with the concept of disability person as a general man, as a general women, we should clarify about the disability person. So thank you so much, sir, and thank you the resource persons, thank you the students, those who are present here, and it will be the thank you for the technicians also, without which it is not possible to conduct this webinar also, because they are recording, they are conducting all such techniques. So thank you Himanshu, giving me such an opportunity. Thank you all.
So thank you, Gitanjali. I mean, I completely agree with you when you made this point that we are all disabled in one sense or other. And if we recognize our disability, then we should also, concern about the disabled person. And the only concern about the disabled person is that we should not think that person is a disabled. I mean, he's like us, and we have to respect whatever he or she needs, and we have to treat them in a very normal manner. But the difficulty part of this whole talk for me is that somewhere, I felt that critical engagement with the concept of disability has not occurred yet. So somewhere the discourse on disability must be put in a larger discourse, and from that we have to give importance to this disability discourse. Otherwise, it will be just like a layman discussion. Yes, there are approaches, there are theories, but then why politics is failing, or politics is failing in its duty, right? And why, you see the government from Congress to BJP, and there are many different regional governments, and why they are not appropriately handling the question of disability, and why the speaker is saying that we need our representation in the parliament, so that a proper policies can be brought from the organic discussion in the legislature. I mean, that gives me, I'm much more worried about it. Somewhere I think it is the fault of academia that we have not given much emphasis on disability as a discourse. And let's see, I mean, I have started, and we will write papers, and let's see how
definitely.
we can handle it in future. So thank you, Dr. Sarada Prasanna Raut. Thank you, Dr. Smruti Ranjan Dhala. I was expecting you to join us from the very beginning, and let's hope for the best. And good night and namaste to all of you. But before that,
Thank you.
some of my students want to talk to you, but they do not want it on record. They want to talk to
Okay.
you in off record. So I'm stopping the recording. Be there.
Sure.
Listen to our
Sure.
students.
Sure.